Hello, Miami. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019, and this is Nothing's Going On in Miami, episode 9.
All right.
I am your host, Rafa. I'm here with the excellent panel. To my left is Arthur Handler.
Hello, Miami.
And
It's good to be here.
And to his left is our very special guest, Cristina Sosa.
Woohoo! Hello, Miami.
All right. Okay, let's start a little bit how we always start, but first I'm going to talk about Cristina here is a longtime friend of mine, and she's also involved and the founder of Raw Residency and Wyness Connect, YNESS Connect. And Cristina,
There's a story tied that.
Cristina, just to get it, just to get the people to know who we're talking to here, Raw Residency is a program. I looked on the website. You guys throw events.
Yeah,
There's a membership to this thing.
correct.
It's kind of like a club without a clubhouse kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah. It's a membership lifestyle, I would say. A membership-based lifestyle. It's a community we're building. Just to go a little bit more on growth, movement, and connection. We realized that Miami, one of the things that I realized Miami was missing is that depth, right? Going deep, getting rid of the limited beliefs and just kind of like being yourself, just being raw, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is about.
And you guys throw events and you guys have a
Correct.
good time. And they're usually, I saw that a lot of them are like lectures and things where you learn things, not just parties or anything like that.
Correct. We do a little bit of everything from like talks with the founder of 3 Points, David Sinopoli, to we do workshops, family constellation workshops, meditation. We have a book club every month. We have a social impact division every month where we have activities with the kids at Lotus House. We have a roundtable discussions where we kind of just like what we call leave it on the table. Just leave whatever it is that doesn't serve you on the table.
Okay.
And just let go of the victim story and just move on and just, you know what it is? It's just to like be authentic with yourself. A lot of people are like they're not authentic to others, but it's like the most important thing is to be authentic with yourself. And that's what it's about.
Right on.
Very cool. All right. Well, let's get to it. Miami and what's happening in Miami. Not much, but there is a couple things.
I heard there's nothing going on in Miami.
Well, that's kind of the name of the show. Also, follow us on Instagram at Nothing's Going On and nothingsgoingon.com, and go on iTunes and subscribe to the podcast if you are the type of person who listens to podcasts. And I want to thank Jolt Radio, as always, for hosting us.
Thank you, Jolt.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got a couple things here I can rant about. And the first one is I saw myself for the first time. I never watched myself on the show, okay? I don't like it. I don't need to see it.
I don't recommend it.
I can exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw myself the other day on the freaking video, and I am such a spaz. I need paper clips.
I'd go
attached
more
to
with
my
nerd,
pants.
but
No.
spaz.
No, my hands are like this, and I'm doing all these weird mannerisms and stuff. Well,
But you know what?
Face for radio.
I must say, when you look at yourself in video in anything, even like when you hear yourself, it's like we're the worst critics, We're like, we like get down to the gritty. It's like, no, that was horrible.
Yeah.
And you're really not. Like, nobody's looking at your spouse.
I know, but it just felt I felt like a total spastic. So that's one thing.
I've watched it a few times.
No.
I've watched, I think, every one of our episodes.
I am.
And you think he's spastic? I would never
No,
say
I
that
think
about
it's
him.
great.
Right.
No,
I
because
think
he's
awesome.
looking at himself the
Of
whole
course,
time.
yes. I bring a lot of class to
I
it.
must say, I have seen you, and I don't think you're spastic.
No, I don't think it's spastic. I think there's some. I think it adds a little bit. Actually, there's some good facial expressions.
All right.
Honestly, I had no problem with it.
Well, I'm keeping my fingers in my belt. loops
Spastic
today.
and all. There you go.
Being
There
tied
you can
down.
tape your hands down.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a person tied down to a chair.
Okay, and the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that I went last night to a concert, Tame Impala, at the Fillmore. I got really lucky, and a buddy of mine. This was a concert that when I tried to buy the tickets, I was in line on the online. I had 3 browsers open, and I was in the queue. It said there's 1,000 people. Right when I got in, it was right when it opened. It said there's 1,000 people in front of you. Sold out in like 5 minutes. I was like, damn, sucks. StubHub tickets were $200 to $300, and so that was no way. Not for this band. This is not a $300 band. But a buddy of mine called me yesterday, my good buddy Danny, and he says, "Hey, I got an extra ticket, and it's on me. Let's do it." And so I got to go.
Wow.
Really good concert, especially, a concert's really good when you don't have the expectations of having paid for it.
I was about to say,
Those are the
especially
best
when you don't pay
concerts.
for it.
Exactly.
Anything's good when you don't pay for it.
So we went, and really fun. We were there, general admission, close to the front, not super close. And this is something that happens at every show, but it was it just really stood out yesterday, which was the kids with the phones. I feel like an old man saying this, but
The kids with the phone.
yeah, because there was right in front of me was this girl who I thought she was underage, but my buddy was like, nah, she's probably like 22 or something. The whole concert, most of the time, with her phone up, recording it. I don't get it. What you see in the phone screen when they're doing this is just, like red lights, and you barely see the people because it's a phone. It's like, and you're really far. And they're doing this the whole show. My eye level is like right here, so I'm watching their phone most of the time.
This sucks.
I would start like jumping up and down and putting my hands in front of her, like over her head, so that I was kind of
Like,
pushing
hello,
into the
be
phone.
in the present moment.
But for her, it just seemed like it was so integral to her experience to have the phone out.
Generation iPhone, they don't really live their lives. They record what goes on around them so they can show people this is what I was doing, but you weren't really experiencing it, were you? You were running a phone.
So here's the other thing. She, I think, only one time got a shot of herself at the concert. So she's not even going to have a memory of herself at the show. She's just going to have a really far away shot of the concert. I don't know. I feel like a stodgy old man talking about this, but at the same time, it really kind of is a bummer for the shows. I saw something really funny too, which I've seen only one other time, is somebody FaceTiming his friend and having this thing up so the friend can see the show. And you, from behind, you see the friend at the house. And he's watching the phone.
Wow.
That's a good friend. That's a good friend.
So wait.
What an experience.
But here's the thing. The friend at the house, he's just kind of like watching, like
Sitting on the toilet.
Yeah,
you know?
he's kind of bored watching, and I feel like he's just watching to be nice to the guy who FaceTimed him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I better keep watching because this guy's so excited about showing me the concert that now I have to watch it. And the guy's there
you
like...
can't even hear, I bet.
I
You
know.
It's like, come on. You can't even hear somebody
I got a strange
regular.
story to tag on here.
Okay.
A friend of a friend that we barbecue a lot and have drinks with and party out. He's got an autistic brother, an older brother, a guy's like in his 50s, and he has to be constantly called and constantly monitored, seriously on the spectrum.
Okay.
So we're having a barbecue, and I'm at the grill, and I turn around, and there's an iPhone sitting on a table pointed at us, and there's a dude in a chair rocking back and forth, just watching the whole party. And I was like, whoa. He's like, no, it's my brother. He just, he's got to be part of it, and I can't be on the phone the whole time. So they had this autistic dude watch our party from FaceTime. And the guy's just sitting there in a chair, glued to the experience. So, I mean, perhaps there's a therapeutic be in the moment, right?
Yeah, there might be something there.
There could be something there, but a bunch of kids at the concert are not really there, are they? They're dicking with their phone. It reminds me of another story. 1 billion years ago, my dad, in the days of film photography, he was a big scuba diver, and he would arrange these trips, and his buddies would all go. And he had one buddy who was obsessive about shooting camera stuff, and underwater photography is very complicated.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. We have
And
a
so
friend.
one time the guy's underwater, and they're all diving, and they say, hey, you're not bringing the camera? He says, no, this trip, I think I'm actually going to enjoy it.
Oh, wow.
And they realized how much of it, and I take that as a lesson in my life.
Yeah.
Vacations with the kids, doing family time. I don't gotta. And also, I'm from before the beepers, So the cell phone's a new thing for me. I really don't care about it. But I see a lot of people, they got to record every second of their life, and I'm thinking, dude, you got to live some of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be there in the moment. You got to be here now.
You gotta be in the moment. But a lot of these kids, when they're like videotaping that, they get more instant gratification, or they get more gratification, not in being in the concert, but getting the likes
I know.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's a scary part.
Yeah.
Right? And by the way, did you hear that Instagram, they're taking out the likes?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Is that going to happen?
They're testing it.
Really?
They're testing it in Canada right now.
That's crazy. Imagine.
But it's not your likes. You will see your likes.
Ah.
You won't see other people's likes. So when you're scrolling through your feed, you don't get to see if the other person has 10,000 likes or 2 likes. You don't see that.
Okay.
I've never been on Instagram, so I don't know what that
Oh my
means,
God.
but I can only imagine it's kind of like the
crazy.
Facebook model, which also I've
Yeah.
never been
it's
on,
the
but
same.
it's whether or not people are approving of my breakfast.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So that's exactly what
Maybe
these...
it's cool because I heard there's a whole psychological thing that
That's a mental health thing.
The people who are posting more are happier, and the people who are scrolling more are more depressed because they're looking at other people's lives. They did a study. I'm paraphrasing and I'm boiling it down, but right, what is this measure? What is this metric of how cool we are and how acceptable we are to others? Right?
To me, it's become very much it's all marketing. Everything you
Oh my
post,
God,
everything I
100%.
post is
It's all for sale.
it's
yeah.
all for sale. Yeah, everything. I'm
100%.
selling myself. I'm selling this show.
Yeah.
I'm selling.
Can we sell this show?
And if for $1. Yeah, so that's what it becomes. And oh man, I read another thing. We're going way off topic here, but Instagram influencers. Okay, kids now so want to be one of these influencers, and the influencers, what they do is they get brands to sponsor them, right?
Yeah.
So brands show up, they give them money so that they post their stuff and to their followers, right? So these kids so think that that's like the coolest lifestyle.
Is that like these makeup girls and stuff like
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
That they will buy like a Gucci bag or something, and they will do the ad, but they're not getting any money.
Oh
They just
my
want it
God.
to look like they are getting sponsored because that makes them look more professional and more on the way to that goal. Isn't that
My
insane?
God.
I think we've reached like peak influencer in that sense.
But I think, the whole taking out the likes, I think it would be a good thing. I think it would be a good thing to take out the likes, or like to even, or like, and also like, I think that sometimes like you have to, like, even though you don't want to, like it's part of the selling that you have to kind of like post. And it's like, if you don't post, it's like, it's such a game. My God.
Well, it sounds to me like you're saying that they're not really taking away the likes.
No.
They're taking the likes away from the user, but they're keeping it to know if people are digging on something or not.
No. You get to know if people are digging on your stuff.
Exactly,
But you don't
yeah.
get to see if other people dug other stuff. Which apparently was influencing a lot of people because
I dig it.
They would see a
okay.
post with 5,000 likes and
Like,
they
why
would
is
like,
it mine not getting 5,000 likes
Exactly.
when I have the same Gucci bag or
Exactly.
whatever?
And a lot of people like things that are already liked, that are already popular, just
Correct.
because they're popular.
Correct.
And so, I don't know. That's the theory. Anyway, phones at concerts, boo.
Boo.
Take it out, get your memory, but not the whole time, please. Not the whole time.
No, it's
And you're blocking everybody's view,
I talk a lot about my Jersey friend Slim. He's older than me, so he's from way before cell phones, and we're always talking about there's these people who like they don't when they go with the bag of the groceries to the car in the parking lot, they can't get the keys in the door because they can't put the phone down because the phone is in their hand. And we watched this woman like have the baby
Without the baby.
and the groceries, and she gets to the car and she's like, you can see she's having an existential crisis. How do I open this goddamn car because I gotta keep this phone in my hand to see if somebody liked my parking spot, I mean, we gotta get, honestly, as a species, we got to get past that. This technology has helped us in so many ways, but it's really shown us a very ugly side of who we are. And I think it's trapped us, and we're at a clutch moment where we got to shift, and we've got to like, hey, this is great. We can use this, but I could also open the car door without holding the phone, right?
Yeah, true. I must say I've been guilty about that, especially now with the rental car.
I didn't want to say, but I think it was you that I saw in that parking lot.
In my other car, my regular car, you just need to have it on your purse, and it opens automatically. With this one, I need to have the key in my hand to like open it. Man, today I was like struggling. I was like, oh, that's right. I could put my phone in my purse and then open my bag.
No, you're right.
It was a thing. It was a thing.
I know the new keys are like RFID. You get close enough to the car, the thing just opens.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that is an innovation that has to do because we can't put the phone down.
Maybe easy.
Well, I wasn't going to get to this because I was going to save it for another show, but as long as we're talking about this, we might as well keep riffing. The Florida legislature finally passed... no, not Griffin,
Sorry.
Riffin.
Sorry.
The Florida legislature this week finally passed the bill to ban using your phone while driving.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so it goes into effect July 1st.
Wow, this
and then
is huge.
you can get pulled over just for holding your phone.
Yeah.
Wow, this is great.
No,
This is
I'm
great.
for it, and I'm guilty of it, and I'm at a
I'm guilty
stage
of it,
where
too.
my vision isn't what it used to be. So when I'm trying to operate this, and I got an old iPhone 4 here, this thing's tiny.
Wow.
And so
Can you imagine his
My-
big hands trying to use that phone? Look at
Oh,
that thing.
at night.
I have to take a picture of this.
And I got a big pickup truck, and I'm with a V8, and I'm doing 90 trying to make it to this show.
Yeah.
By the way, that school bus, I'm very sorry.
So it's happening. I just want to. We'll talk about it more when it actually goes into effect to see if people are getting pulled
Yeah.
over and stuff
I
like that
wonder
for
how
real.
that's gonna work.
But it is in July 1st. It goes into effect, and we'll see how it plays out. All right, moving on. It's Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. This is Nothing's Going On, Episode 9. Hello, Jolt listeners, and anybody listening on the feed.
On the interwebs.
Yes. Okay, let us talk. Let me see what I got written down here, what we can get into. Oh, here's something lighthearted. Did you know that there is a Miami Airlines? Miami
No.
Air International is an airline that has been operating continuously since 1991.
Since 1991?
Yes. We're going to be somebody. I swear. I
Yay,
swear.
Miami! We
We're
have
gonna do
hope.
it. We're going to do it.
So the reason I saw this is because I think it was on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They were flying a flight from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to Jacksonville, and they went off the runway and they landed in.
And they were trying to park
I
in
saw
Hialeah.
that.
And they landed in the St. Johns River up there in
Yes.
Jacksonville.
Gee.
Nobody was hurt.
Wow.
There's Miami drivers, man.
And so I was like, wait, there's a Miami Airlines? What is
Whoa.
this? For a second, I thought maybe it wasn't even operating out of Miami. No, it does operate out of Miami. They have 6 planes, and they are a charter type of airline. So
Ah, okay.
businesses,
Killer.
but the planes are big. They're not little.
No,
They-
I saw it. I saw the
Yeah.
pictures on the river. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Miami Airlines. That's for sure. Like, I did
Well,
not read.
there used to be like a Florida Airlines, I think, a billion years ago.
There was a Hooters Airlines too.
Yeah.
Hooters are what?
Yeah.
And what are the girls like dressed as
Yeah.
like Hooter? No way. That's all. No, oh my
That
god.
one's from Florida, not from Miami.
Okay, that
Somewhere
makes me
there's
feel a
a-
little better.
Somewhere there's a joke about flotation devices, but I can't. I can't come up. I'm not that quick.
So anyway, keep an eye out, I guess, if you're one of those plane spotting people, that kind of weird guys that hang out by the airport and
Plane
watch.
spotting. Was that a movie?
No, it's train spotting.
Oh,
but
geez, I can't keep up.
But yeah, so this plane crashes into the river. Everybody's safe. Oh, and the news was that they refunded everybody $2,500, which was more than the cost of the ticket because of the incident.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
It's cheaper to pay everybody a little $2,500, but then they come back with their lawyer. you know?
exactly.
In the Saint-
Smart.
in the
Good
St. John's
Miami.
River.
There you go.
Wow.
Look at
Wow.
that.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
It was a flight from. Did you say from Cuba or was
Yeah,
it?
from Cuba. It was a charter flight. I
And it
think
was
they-
going that far north in Florida. Why?
Yeah, so
I wonder.
the little things that I read were that the military often charters their planes, so that I guess they fly servicemen to and from instead of the Air Force, which is weird, but I guess it happens sometimes that or maybe civilian contractors. That's probably what it is.
My
Civilian contractors going to Guantanamo, and then they get flown back to Jacksonville or
interesting. My New York connection just wired me that pets died on that flight.
whatever. Oh,
Fluffy and Fido. One dog and 2 cats dead in carriers. That's where the dough comes from.
because it went on like
Of course.
Well, they
part
went.
goes
Yeah,
under.
you land in the
Yeah.
water. The top part floats. The bottom baggage area
No,
gets
yeah.
flooded. That's why they gave everybody $2,500 because their clothes got wet.
Yeah.
And the dog drowned. That's
Jeez,
terrible.
that's
Oh,
terrible.
that is sad.
Yeah.
That is sad.
I'm still laughing, but it's terrible.
But I hope they stick around.
They're going to be fine.
I think they could float it.
You're so dumb. All right, that's Miami Airlines.
Are they on time? Are they on time on any of their flights? Miami Airlines. I gotta ask.
Right.
I gotta ask.
They gotta be.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
That Miami and people who come in from out of Miami. I'm gonna segue here.
Yes, do it.
But people who come in from out of Miami, just they can't adapt. All of us know.
Yeah,
and I always tell
it's
everybody.
standard.
My father was Air Force. The guy's 10 minutes early to everything in his entire life. Me, I work for a company, and we're an on-site business, and we try our damnedest to be like on time or 10 minutes early to just about everything we do. And I can't tell you how hard it is in this town. I'm sure.
is.
I mean, you guys live in this town,
Of
right?
course.
Doing anything on time in this town is damn near impossible.
Yeah, no, I think it's just part of the culture too. It's like very Latin America.
You got to know. So
Well,
this show used to start officially at 9, but now I just say it's 9:15. Even though officially it still starts at 9, I say 9:15 because.
Oh, are we going to start a radio show here?
Are we on a radio show?
So, actually, talking about that, I went to have something custom made. And I called a guy like a month ahead of time. I find him online, comes highly rated. And I said, hey, I need this thing made for my boat. Can you do it? Oh, yeah, we do it. He's like, that'll take me a day. You get it into me by 7:30 in the morning. I have it to you by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. At the worst, the next morning. I'm like, dale, done. For those of you who don't know, dale is means let's do it. So I call him back. I schedule it, and he gives me a date. He's look, man, yo, bro, yo, bro. That's a very Miami thing. Yo, bro, I'm really booked, so I got to fit you in when I can fit you in, okay, man? Okay, you come in on the 25th, but get it in the morning early. So I pay a guy, a buddy of mine.
To do it on time.
No, to take my kids to school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, because they got to be there early, and I got to trailer this thing all the way out to Yemensville. And I get out there, I bring the thing in. Yeah, man, oh, this thing's a beauty. Okay. Hey, by the way, I'm going to have it this is a Thursday. I'm going to have it for you Monday, Tuesday. I was like, wait a minute, bro. What happened to,
Having it early.
What happened to you know what? Okay, I won't fish this weekend. So I call him on a Tuesday. I'm like, hey, what time am I picking my boat up? Bro, it's going to have to be Thursday, bro. I call him Thursday. I'm like, all right, hey, what time am I picking the thing up? Man, it's going to be Friday.
No.
True story, bro. A case of the Miami's, pero para la pinga, bro.
Miami's finest.
And I finally pick it up. I drive out there Saturday afternoon. I'm like, hey, man. Bro, you know what happened, bro? I'm late on everything, bro. I'm so sorry, but I'm just late. But it's going to be beautiful, man. End of the story. I actually bail on Saturday, and I get a call 2 hours later. Hey, the thing's ready, bro. And he's going to give me a discount. And I show up, top-notch work.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
100%
beautiful, top-notch work. He's like, bro, look at this work. I was like, yeah, bro. 9 effing days, bro. You said a day and a half. We're 9 days later. It's like, this is like typical Miami. And like, so when we were trying to get Amazon here, I got to think that this is one of the things that's got to just, kill us.
They definitely put that into consideration.
And I've been saying since forever, we want so bad to be a real town. Miami. We do. We want to try to bring theater. We want to try to bring art, but we just can't do anything on time. And real towns are like, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
You can't.
Now, here's a question. In real towns, do they promise the 2 days, or do they promise 5 or 6 days realistically? Is the problem of Miami that we're always late, or that we overpromise on these type of things? Yeah.
I think it's a combination. I think we overpromise and we're late.
Okay.
In my experience, I mean, not everything in our company. I hate to say dude, mang. Bro is very Miami.
I hate the bro.
So if we say we're going to be on time, I tell my guys, listen, we're going to be there early.
Yeah.
And we're going to show up early. And if we're even 10 minutes running late, we give a call to the client. And what burned me on this is there was no phone calls. I got to call the guy. And in the end, to his saving grace, he did top-notch work. Top-notch.
Yeah.
And that's his reputation.
Yeah.
And then I call a buddy of mine. I'm like crying to him. He's like, oh, bro, everybody knows. That guy does excellent work, but he's slow as Christmas, man. But yeah, no. So it's a Miami thing. And
That guy could save himself a lot of trouble if he just said 9 days right up front.
can I tell you that when we call our clients and we say, "Hey, we had a little traffic on 95," and
They're ecstatic.
we're going to be about 10 minutes late. They love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah, they appreciate that.
Hey, thank you so much
Yeah.
for letting me know. And I'm thinking this is just a regular courtesy thing to do, but
Yeah.
in Miami, there's like a void of it.
Yeah.
Customer service is like a black hole here in
Mm-hmm.
Miami. If you even smile, say something nice, or give them a heads up, you're going to be late.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah. I do that too most of the time, and sometimes I've messed it up and not done it, but it really goes a long way. You're getting to a meeting 5 minutes late maybe because you see the traffic is not working out for you, but it's still 45 minutes before the thing. It's so good to let them know because maybe they're doing something and they can push it 10 more minutes.
Totally.
It makes a little difference.
Consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So in big towns, how do they do better in big towns? Because I got to imagine in New York. And listen, I hate New York because I'm born and raised in Miami, and we don't like the people from up north telling us how to do our stuff down here. But I got to imagine you can't keep a business if you do that kind of stuff.
No, of course not.
No.
If you got a reputation. And down here, like I see online constantly, like we look at reviews of companies before we use them, and I'll read. I want to read the bad reviews. I don't want to read the good reviews because that's him and his cousin and his brother-in-law. But the bad reviews are going to let you know, hey, this is what these guys are going to pull on you. And I recently got to get a fence built at my house. This guy said he was going to show up this day. He never showed up until a week later, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, that's you can't survive in any other. And the guy's still in business, right?
Yeah, yeah. In any other town, it wouldn't be.
And
like
in any
that.
other town, you're not in a real town, you're not going to survive like that.
Well, that's what gives us that idea. That
Spicy
Miami
little
air.
thing, yeah. That's what spice things up.
Yeah. And you get used to it, and then you kind of know how to work around it, I guess.
I guess now I don't get as mad or like I just expect it in a way. You know?
Let me ask
It's
you-
Right.
horrible.
If
Let
you're
me
from
ask
here,
you-
you factor it in.
When
Yeah.
you coordinate events, because I go to a lot of events around town, and the smart people, they say an hour. They say the time of the event is an hour before it's. The real
Well, I
time.
start my event 30 minutes after.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I
Always.
mean,
If
that's
not-
standard.
Yeah.
Standard.
Oh, yeah, that's
Which is horrible because at the end of the day, I'm training the people that it starts 30 minutes late. So now they are coming an hour late, So it's like,
Yeah, but if not, you'd start the event with one person there.
correct. Yeah. So I might as well just start
No,
it from.
I'm full on gringo, and it's just known that if you're with a Latin woman, and forgive me, dear,
Hey, I totally feel just.
you're like, hey,
Oh, he's talking
we're,
about his wife.
We're supposed to be at the party at 9, baby. We got to be there at 8:00
Yeah, you
because
have
if
to.
not, she will start showering at 9.
Of course. Yeah. I'm guilty of
You
it.
got to tell them it's an hour ahead of time, bro.
I'm totally
and then you'll be
guilty
on
of
time.
it.
And my old lady's like, oh, you don't want to be the first guy at the party, and you don't want to be the last one to leave. I'm thinking, well, we also don't want to get there when there's no food left and there's only a couple of Bud Lights, Give me a break. But yeah, it's
But we are guilty of that. I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. I mean, you told me that the party's at 9, and I'll be there like 10:30.
Yeah.
exactly.
Which is horrible. But yeah, I
Well,
mean, I guess.
For a party, it's one thing, but for some kind of lecture, like I went to a bunch of, I said it on the show last time too, a bunch of the Miami events last month, and they were doing that. They would say like 6, but really it started at 7.
Yeah.
So the first 2 times I got there on time, and then the next
You realize
couple
that.
times I was like, oh no, I'm leaving.
Right. So if you get busted doing that, aren't you just reinforcing the negative? The guy's going to show up, be like, damn, I really didn't have to be here until 7:30.
Well, they are already planning for it. I don't know how. Like, I can't change the way.
No,
they're
but I
gonna
mean,
do it.
like the visitors, like you show up and you realize they told me 6:00. And
Yeah.
This thing didn't start till 7:30.
Yeah.
Next time
I
I'm going to be here at 7:45.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. After that, I would leave the house 15 minutes after it said it was starting, and I was there perfectly on
Early.
time.
Early.
Yeah, exactly.
You were there early. Like, let's.
That's Miami stuff. But you get to, like I said, just like people do that with the events, you get used to it and you know how to work
Yeah,
around
you
it.
gotta totally
Miami's
work
a
around
lot of working around stuff.
I think so too. I think it's working around stuff and kind of integrate. And you know what I was telling you earlier? It's like I'm having a little love affair with Miami, and I think that's what sometimes I could get mad at things and I'm like, oh man, this city, the people, but at the end of the day, it's like Man, we have the best of the best. We have the best. The beach is like just to have the beach like 15 minutes away from. Yeah, it is freaking fun. Amazing.
Well, you know what? And we're gonna off tangent here, but
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
gotta to resonate with that. Is we talked about this before in the show. You're from Miami. You get a love-hate relationship with this city.
Yeah.
You hate it. You want to love it, but then you hate it. But then you want to hate it, and then there's things about it that you love.
Yeah.
You know, and we want so much to.
That conflict,
Yes. Yeah.
where and you the hate part might have lasted a couple years for most people. I think you know
Yeah,
you go
my
a couple
God.
years where you're like, I got to get out of here.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
stuff to
mean-
hate about this joint. But then at this last minute, you know, so we've got my old lady's got a cousin in from Chile, and like second time ever in Miami, but only for like a day. So she's here, and we stop and we get a colada, and she's like, "Oh, what's this?" So I start pouring a colada, but the colada is like social currency here in Miami. And I've been in hardware stores in downtown Miami where I know the managers, and some old viejo will walk in with a colada. Hey, ¿quién quiere café?
And
Bro?
with the little cups.
And bro,
and-
all of a sudden, everybody, little cups,
Yeah.
everybody's shooting it, and there's a magic to this city, and I don't want to jump on the Magic City thing, but there is.
yeah.
There is, you know, and so you want to hate this city, and then you gotta go and spend some time in New York. And the people aren't as bad in New York as they say they are.
No,
you know,
New
they're
York is
friendly
great.
enough. It's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's a hip town. But I mean, there's a magic in Miami. You get past the hey, are you gonna screw me over? I don't like to cuss on the show. I really wanted to say the other word.
Yeah, I feel you.
You feel me here?
I feel you because
But-
I've said it to that person.
But right, you know, in Miami, like somebody, you get on an elevator with somebody, and you try and say, "Hey, good morning," and they look at you like, "What the hell you want from me?"
Exactly.
And then I got a buddy who's like, he was in the Midwest somewhere, and he gets on an elevator, and people are like, "Hi, good morning, how are you?"
Yeah.
And he's like, feeling his wallet, you know, wondering like, "Hey, where is this going?" They're like, "Nah, man, that's just how."
They're friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know Miami's missing that, but then there's a magic in Miami that
It really is. And I think the culture that's coming in and like just people, I think what I think it's happening is that people are really building a city that they want to live in. I mean, at least that's what I feel. Like I really, with Raw Residency, I was like, I'm going to create events that I want to go to. I'm going to create events that I think that add meaning to the city. Because if I'm going to live, I've been trying to live this town since the moment I got here. When I was dragged from Venezuela when I was 11, and it was like, you're moving to the States. I was like, what? No, you know? So the moment I got here, it was already like, get me out. And I've lived in New York for 4 years. And I mean, I love New York, don't get me wrong. But I've always wanted to leave it. And for the first time, I could say that, man, it is so amazing to live in Miami and everything that's happening and the new stuff, and people are more acceptive to people wearing different things, people being different.
There's
You know?
a lot of at least when we were younger, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of different scenes. Now there's
Not
a
at all.
lot more scenes, and you can find your place.
You can find your tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
absolutely, and I'm about it, and I don't like all of them.
No, of course.
You don't have
and you
to.
don't have to.
And I
That's
don't think
the
you
beauty
have
of
to.
it.
And I think there was a thing on NPR a while ago, and they were talking about it. And I actually called in. I'm a bit of a radio nut, and I sat online on hold, and I called in, and I said, you know, these other cities want to like preach tolerance, and they want to be proponents of tolerance. But I'm like, honestly, here in Miami, I think we live it, and it's like you don't have to love the other scenes, and you don't have to love the other cultures, but there's nothing you're going to do about it because it's all here, and we find a way to live together.
With it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that like you got to love them.
Yeah.
No.
And you can still hate on stuff. And I love hating on stuff, and I hate loving on stuff, which is interesting.
Which is a thing.
But it's a thing, yes. But no, for real. So here in Miami, we really kind of find a way to like make it work, not because we love to, or we want to, or we want to be that way, but it's just like a survival thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I love to bag on the West Coast, you know, the left coast, and I don't mean Tampa. I mean the far left coast out there, past the Rockies. where, my experience with a lot of those folks out there is to your face, namaste, and let's all get together and tolerance. And behind your back, they're stabbing you, bro.
Yeah.
They're digging your grave. And at least here in Miami,
Here it's a little better with this. Kind of
Miami's
thing.
a little East Coast,
I feel
to your face.
because maybe it's because there is no majority. Could it be that?
I just feel like I think it's just developing. You know what I mean? There's not like a one majority over, like you say, like it's not like one group shining another group.
Exactly.
Like, so maybe at the beginning we're like, oh, there's just, even there's so many cultures, right? Like at the beginning, like
That's
it was
why.
like a whole bunch of Cubans or like a whole bunch of Brazilians or Russians or whatever. Now it's like, or Venezuelans when now are like, taking over. But now it's like,
But
no.
not really. Nobody
Yeah.
really has taken over
No.
anything. The Cubans had it for a long time, but even then, I mean, they still have the biggest numbers probably, but it's
I think Venezuela is
Venezuela's
yeah,
really pushing.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's
Have you
nothing.
been to Doral? Doralzuela, they call it.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking.
Doral, you mean Little Caracas?
I literally went there yesterday, and I was just blown away by the developments of this place. I was like, "What is this? This is a city within a city."
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like you take a field trip, like it's just like it's like. But
I was talking a while ago with a guy who's a financial advisor. He handles money for wealthy people in South America who are trying to pull their money out and store it in different areas, and mainly Brazilians. And he told me, he says, listen, man, Argentina is a country of like 60, 70 million. Venezuela is,
60 million people in Argentina, really?
I think
way.
so. No? Is it less?
Yeah, way less.
But then it was Venezuela was 60
Yeah,
million.
yes.
Excuse me. And Argentina was less.
Yeah.
And he hit me with these numbers. He's like, let me tell you something. Brazil is like 200 million people.
yeah, it's a
And he says-
huge country.
He says, and there's the political stuff that's going on there now. People are starting to pull their money out and bail. And this was under Lula and Rousseff.
Gotcha.
And with Bolsonaro, maybe the tide's gonna ebb a little bit. But he was telling me, he's like, listen, man, prepárate, porque I don't. How do you say prepárate in Portuguese? I don't know, but it was something like that. But he said, hey, listen, prepare yourself because the Venezuelan influx or the Argentine influx or even the Cuban influx is nothing compared to if Brazil starts to say we're done with this and we're bailing
Yeah,
to Miami.
yeah. There would be so much more people. Okay, well, let's move on a little bit because we're kind of we're waxing a little too much on that. One thing I did notice you mentioned was a beach, which I did want to talk about the beach. Is there a good beach out there in West Kendall? Okay, no. Okay. So what I was getting at
on the canals,
you get out there. I know you go out on the boat and go fishing and stuff like that. I love to go to the beach. I live really near the beach. I think it's one of the resources that we have here in Miami that you really should take advantage of if you're not already. When I was in my 20s, I didn't go to the beach as much. I didn't think it was. I don't know. I didn't get it. But now there's something about chilling in the sand, just hanging out, maybe reading a book or something, going in the water, coming back out. And you have that here. It's one of the best things we have. We don't have everything, we don't have all the cultural stuff yet that some bigger worldwide cities have. But we do have that. And if you're not using it,
Man.
if you're not using
You're
it,
missing out.
I feel like you're missing half of what Miami has to
Really
offer
has to
you.
offer,
That's world class.
You're paraphrasing something an older buddy of mine, an older guy that I used to work with about 10 years ago, probably 15 now, said. He said, hey, people fly from around the world and spend big bucks to hang out on what we got in our backyard.
Yeah.
And if you're not going there and you live here, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You're spending your time in traffic.
So
We live where people vacation.
Right.
that's what people say all the time.
Yeah.
So one of the things, when you mentioned Doral and the fact that it's expanding so much, I mean, I get it because people move into a place that's more affordable and stuff like that. But it's so far from going to the beach that it makes your commute to the beach maybe like an hour. Maybe on a
Yeah, what the
weekend.
hell is
On a
there to
weekend,
do
it's-
out
on a
there?
weekend,
30 minutes.
on a weekend it's probably like 30 minutes, so it's not that bad. But you probably don't go as much, and it's a shame. You're kind of moving into to Miami, and you're getting only the bad stuff, which is the heat and out there in the way west, it rains more too. Like all that,
But Rafa,
and you're missing.
I must say something. I lived on 4th and Ocean
Okay.
for a couple years, and it was the best. I mean, I was literally on the beachfront. It was the best freaking apartment. Unfortunately, Irma got the best of it. And of course, these like old apartments of Miami Beach that are just like freaking, another story I could rant for a long time about. But when I lived there, I didn't take advantage of it as
Really?
much. Like I guess it was just I would wake up, I would see it every morning, I would hear it every night, I would hear the waves. It was what got me to sleep. But like afterwards, it became like a pool. Like like when you have something that you just don't. What is that thing that you take for granted? It was so crazy. And then I moved to Brickell, where I live now, which I'm kind of loving it. I
Really?
never thought I would be
Brickell's a
Brickell.
scene, but there's nowhere to there's nowhere to sunbathe and put on a bikini and go swimming.
But it gets me to go to the beach and realize that I literally travel with my bathing suit on my car, and that every time I'm like, oh, I have 1 hour to spare. It's like, let me just go, put on the bathing suit, go. Luckily, I got,
Nice.
my hair dries really well with the salt water.
That, man. I lived on the beach like a lot of us when I was in my early 20s. And I split an apartment with a buddy, like right on 15th and the ocean. And man, I'd wake up an hour early in the morning and I'd go for a swim. Nothing wakes you up like going
Nothing.
and taking a swim. And it's absolutely right. Like, we don't use it.
So wait, I don't want to imply that you have to live that close to the beach to use it. I mean, you could live here in Alapata and you're close enough that you can hit it up on the weekends or once a month at least.
But I think it should be mandatory for everybody to go just one dip in the ocean, at least once.
Actually, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
I think
If you're a
people would be
resident, you
better.
should have your beach day.
I think so too, and people will be better. There's nothing that salt water, what it cures. I mean, I think it cures everything. It's like that Windex movie that the Greek movie that they just used Windex. For me, is the water. Like, man, I have anything. Anything bad happening, I have feeling a bad mood, I go in that water and there's boom, automatic like reset.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, they used to, back in medieval times, they used to dunk people's heads in cold water because they thought when they were going crazy and stuff like that. Also, it's a treatment for people say when people are too drunk, put them in a cold shower, that kind of stuff. If you are feeling kind of groggy and you jump in the ocean, it is something else, man. It really does something. It gives you like a wake up.
And if you cut yourself, like for the wound, anything for las malas vibras, whoever knows about that.
Right on. No, that guy that we used to work with, he used to say, we were supposed to be at the job site at 9:00 in downtown Miami, and for a couple of years, swear to God, a few times a week. And back then, I didn't have a car, man. We were taking buses and trains, and a few of our dudes we all worked with, we'd go to the beach at 7 a.m. We'd all meet up, hang out on the sand for a second, go take a swim, quickly get our clothes on, hop the bus and the train downtown Miami, work all day, man, and it energized us.
Yeah.
It was really killer, man.
Yeah, no.
And
it's
we were doing it for a while. And then I took my kids a bunch of times, and then my mom likes to remind me that we went every Sunday when we were kids. Back then it was different, the beach was a lot different. You could park.
Yeah,
No, you
well,
could
that's
park,
it.
yeah.
It was old Jews and old hotels, and it was...
Well, there's a lot of beach out there,
Correct. You just have to find the spots. I
Yeah.
realize that. It's like finding the little spots.
Yeah.
There's not that many people.
It's tough now, but Miami Beach kind of ebbed and flowed. Back when I was going as a kid, it was in the 80s, late 70s even, and it was before the beach was what it is now.
Yeah.
Then 90s, 2000s, beach is hotter than a pistol. You can't touch it. You couldn't park. You couldn't get near it.
Yeah.
It's
It
kind of
starts
ebbed
getting
though
hot.
now.
It starts getting hot. Yeah, I must say. The water starts getting really hot
So
in summer days.
That's a good transition to something that I noticed, and maybe you guys noticed it too. Do you notice that after spring break, this happens every year, but it's more this year. The snowbirds are gone, and did you notice that the city kind of
Calm down. Yes.
but much more than other years? I feel
I
like
agree
It just kind of went
100%.
woo, like over the past month.
100%. I mean, like traffic.
Yeah,
the other day I was
traffic.
there. I was like, "What? I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck."
I should say, strangely in business also.
Really?
Our business is dead right now.
Really?
And I talked to my competition, a few of my competition companies, and they told me the same thing. That they're slow. And then I
wonder what
talked
that
with another
is.
guy I know who's in a similar business. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm real hot and cold right now. And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I'm coming off of 2 bumper years, and it's like the Pharaoh's dream.
No.
The Pharaoh's dream. You don't know it?
No.
Pharaoh has a dream of 7 healthy, beautiful bows of wheat get attacked and eaten up by 7 sickly bows of wheat. And then the next night he has a dream of 7 fat cows getting eaten by 7 sickly cows.
Okay.
This is a story out of the Bible.
Okay. Where's this going?
So he calls out of prison a guy an Israelite who interprets dreams. And the Israelite tells him, you got 7 years of famine coming after 7 years of plenty. And I don't mean to get this deep, but I know you like deep, right?
Yeah.
So he says that this is what it is the next 7 years are going to be plenty, but after that you're going to have 7 years of famine. So what you need to do is make sure you fill the grain houses and storehouses these next 7 years. And honestly, we live by that in our company, and we just came off of like 2.5 bumper years. I mean, out of the park after some really nasty years. But we didn't blow all that dough. What we did is we
Good.
saved it. And it's right on time because, man, I'm feeling in my bones a Pharaoh's dream right now.
Because summer is coming, huh?
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
winter's coming. Feels like a Game of Thrones type of thing. No, but
Is that a thing, right?
yeah, it's a thing. But remember that we always create our own reality. I like to say that out there. We really do. And I think that's something that we need to within businesses. I think I'm also going through that stage in my business that it's like, okay, when we hit a plateau, how do we break through it, right? And how can we change it up so we could generate a different thing, right? So we could, it's kind of like co-creating again, right? Like recreating yourself. And I think, I mean, now, especially being, something that's relatively new, that it's a membership-based component, it's been tough educating people, of what it is, why you want to join, the commitment.
Yeah,
Here, like people don't commit,
Yeah. Yes.
Miami's not big on commitment.
Yeah.
not big
I
on
would say.
commitment. So, so lately I'm like, man, maybe I should just take it to New York and, see what's going on out there. But
A buddy of mine who's been in business a very long time here told me we've been in business since 2000. And then we really suffered in 9, 10, 11, and 12. And he told me, he says, listen, the outfits that survive this are going to do well. He says, so if you can hang in there and you can stay alive, people are going to remember you, and they're going to remember maybe the good times, but they're also going to remember the lean times, and the fact that you made it through that is going to be a badge of honor. I don't know. It's going to show
respect.
Resilience, I suppose.
They used to say, the old Neil Rogers used to say that businesses go belly up here in Miami in 3 years. And any restaurant, especially restaurants, and any restaurant that's been around like 30 years, go eat there because they're doing something right.
Yeah.
So, for the first time in a long time, I went to a bracci. Okay.
Oh, I've
Bracci
never
in
been
Coral. You never
there.
been to
No, I've never been.
Cafe
actually.
Bracci in Coral Gables?
No.
Okay. Well, it's been
I've
there
heard of it
for
of
30
course.
years.
Yeah.
Guy who
Coral
runs
Gables, I think I heard of it.
this guy named Nino. He runs it. Italian guy. Super cool. Really nice. I like the place. It's a little pricey, but I don't go very often. I went with my dad. It was a business thing that he was doing, and I just went. For the first time ever that I go there, the room wasn't full at lunchtime, which usually it always is, and we both noticed, and it was kind of weird, and it speaks to this lull thing. But on the plus side of this lull, it gives you more time to go to the beach, so you could try that.
Always go to the beach no matter what. Just go to the beach.
I've been fitting in fishing, spending time with my kids, and I'm a super nap fan.
There you go.
Nice.
Getting in touch with my couch and just turning everything off and shutting the phone off, and
It feels
it's,
good.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That's something people
Go
need
back to basics.
A lot of people don't know how to handle a nap without either being too restless in the bed and never falling asleep, or just falling asleep and not waking up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I recommend the couch.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Because the bed is long sleep. You got to do it on the couch.
Oh, that's a nice tip.
Yeah, for sure. It's
I usually put my alarm for 20 minutes.
Yes, that's
They
good.
say the recommended time is
that's
around.
right. They did say there was like no more than 30 minutes for
Yeah.
a nap. There was a guy saying, and because
There was a
so you're
studies.
gonna mess up your circadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Another tip: the coffee nap. You have a coffee before the nap,
Yeah.
and
You could have that. Really?
it doesn't hit you until after the nap. So you wake up
Wow.
like boom, like
Man, I
like a-
never
like a-
understood
like
it.
a
I got
real
my Cuban
punch.
buddies who say, "Oh yeah, my mom used to give me a cafecito before bedtime." I'm like, "What is wrong with you people?" I don't know for sure.
awesome.
No,
Dude, if I used to have a cafecito at
I'll
4
stay
o'clock
up,
in the
yeah, I'll stay
afternoon,
up.
I can't sleep.
Yeah.
But then I get these things like I go take the kids to school, I have a coffee, come home, review a few emails, listen to NPR. Next thing I know, I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything today. I'll take a little nap.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, it's
And the
great.
good thing about taking a nap, it's not feel guilty after you take a nap. And I think most of us,
I
it's
feel
like,
terribly guilty.
there's some people. At beginning, I would like feel like, oh man, I'm like, no, it's like embracing it. Like you have time to take a nap.
Yeah.
Hello, thank
It's
you.
a real luxury. It really
universe.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna be that much more productive after.
Correct. I agree.
Okay, moving on. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. Nothing's going on in Miami, episode 9. We are here live on Jolt Radio. I am here with Artie and Cristina.
All right.
I'm your host, Rafa. Thanks for listening. Check out nothingsgoingon.com, Instagram, Nothing's Going On, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, I had some more serious stuff, but I'm going to save it for another day because
Yeah, let's get serious.
you really want to get... No, I don't want to get serious. Plus, we're about to hit time, and I
thought we were pushing this thing later.
No, we're not doing... You know why? Because we get too ranty. We get too off the thing.
I love ranting.
I know you do. I noticed. So we're gonna get straight into calendar, and if we feel like we still have a little more after the fact, we could talk about that.
Calendar.
Okay. So I don't have any openings and closings unless you guys do. The winter.
No, some of the big galleries and stuff we used to work with, they've like gone and dried up. I don't know if that's a thing on the art scene, but
Well, it'd be great if you knew which ones, then you could tell us.
well, CFO is like non-existent in Miami
Yeah.
anymore.
SIFA left, yeah.
Yeah,
But that happened a long time ago. I'm talking about in the past 2 weeks, openings and closings.
Lowe is going to close the Russian show, the Russian avant-garde, and the Bonavardi. And Calstone is going to close in the next couple of weeks. Coming in its place is Visions of Place is a show that's going to open in late June. Billy Lynn, the resident artist at the University of Miami, she's doing a show about racism. We're going to mount.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's
Yeah,
what I
and-
got.
We're this week, actually tomorrow, whoever is hearing this and wants to come, we're showcasing one of our members. She's a photographer, incredible photographer. She's doing her first exhibition at another one of our members' fashion store. She has this brand from Chile, actually. She brought it from Chile, and we're making it into like a little art gallery, and she's
So this
showcasing
is
her stuff.
tomorrow, Thursday.
Tomorrow, Thursday at Quina Stores, and that's in Sunset Harbor.
So tomorrow, Thursday, May 8th at
May
Queen
9th.
May 9th? Yes, May
Yeah.
9th. Man, I have everything written down
At
wrong.
7 p.m.
Yes.
at Quina Store, Sunset Harbor, and you could go to rawresidency.com to RSVP.
Cool. Okay. I also have tomorrow a couple bands that I really like are playing at the Anderson. If you want to do both of those things, you can go see Las Nubes, Glass Body, Sans Pisces, and Pocos Postres at Anderson tomorrow night.
Pocos Postres.
Yeah, a pretty good band name, right?
Yeah, you know what? And also at the Ground, Nicola Cruz. Oh my God, he's amazing.
What I don't know.
It's like, it's this. I would say, like, I hate saying this, but that's the only way I could describe it. Like Tulum vibes, like kind of
Okay.
like tropic. It's check it out. It's Nicola Cruz.
And that's
Very-
tomorrow or Friday?
That's tomorrow. I think it starts at 11, and then DJ Shaka Kron, which is David Sinopoli, is going to be DJing. He's actually one of the
very cool.
owners of the Ground and Space and all that.
He's been here, not on our show, but on this radio station.
We got to
a
bring him
bunch.
into the show.
A bunch of times on this station. Jolt Radio, which is what you're listening to right now. On Friday, May 10th, at the Fillmore, you have Interpol playing. I never got into Interpol, but I know a lot of people swear by them, so I'm just putting it out there. Really good rock band.
They're the European police, right?
Yeah, they're a good rock band with the name of the European police, yes. Or the international police. Also on May 10th is the Rolling Loud Festival, which is a hip-hop festival at the Hard Rock, I think it is, or...
my nephews are telling me about this.
Really?
Yes,
Does that have to do with iHeartRadio?
they say
Maybe.
They say that it's Rolling Loud is a huge deal.
Yeah, huge hip-hop
and
festival.
they're all about it, and they like it better than the Ultra, which...
It's different music.
Time to rant about Ultra real quick?
Sure, what do you want to say?
I don't want to interrupt. Ultras burned a lot of people. They didn't pay. A lot of people. Yes. They skipped town and they didn't pay a lot of money. Even to yours truly. And I'm a small bill. They've got some buddies of mine have 6-figure bills that they haven't been paid, and they're going to take them to court. And it's there's already some stuff going on.
Ooh, that's
and
ugly.
the word is that Ultra's not coming back here to Miami.
Yeah, they're coming to South Florida, but not to Miami. That came out today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think? They're going to go out there to the youth fairgrounds?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, dude, what a garbage. But it opens up Marine Stadium
Hold on,
for something else.
Don't go off here. Friday is Rolling Loud.
Where is that?
I'm pretty sure it's at the Hard Rock Stadium.
Uh-huh.
Okay? But then I also read that you can catch a lot of the artists at 11 in after shows and after parties and stuff like that. So if you're into hip-hop, I mean, you might already know this stuff, but if you just forgot about it, it's all this weekend, the Rolling Loud Festival. On Saturday, on May 11th, our friends at Dimensions Variable open up their new space. This is Layden Rodriguez and Francis Tromley.
Dimensions
two artists who
that's
run
not placeholder, is it?
No, it's not placeholder. Placeholder's Anna's thing. Dimensions Variable. They are now located at 101 79th Street. It's an art gallery. Artist-run art gallery. And they have... I don't know if it's coincidence or they did this on purpose, but they have 3 exhibitions opening on Saturday. All Venezuelan artists. One guy is Juan Pablo Garza, then Gustavo Matamoro.
Oh, I know Matamoros.
Yeah, Matamoros, who does the sound art. That's amazing.
He's a very cool guy.
Yeah, like the stuff where you walk into a room and you just hear.
We did some work with him some years
stuff.
ago with Robert Chambers, and we helped them do a collaborative piece.
And
Matamoros is a very cool guy.
Oh, man, and then the last one, my printer messed up, and I can't read it here. It says her name is Luz. I want to say Cañedo, but I'm not sure. Anyway, those are Dimensions Variable on Saturday.
That sounds a cool.
Also on Saturday, but this is more of a shit show, but you might want to check it out. There's a thing called Artists Open. And so something like 300 artist studios will be open from 11 to 6 p.m. all over Miami. Look up Artists Open. Look up the Fountainhead.
Like a traffic nightmare.
Look up the Fountainhead. Look up the Bakehouse.
I love the Fountain.
And if there's any artist that you see on that list that you want to go check out, they also have their Instagrams all on the list, so you can see if it's something that you're interested in. This is the time to go see it. You can talk to the artist directly. You can go into their studio. 300 Miami artists all participating in this in different galleries and stuff like that. Also, it's Saturday, May 11th. Well, I was thinking of you, Artie, when I wrote this down. They're playing Clerks, the movie. Have you guys seen Clerks, the movie?
Garbage.
So it's a really raunchy movie from the 90s. It's Kevin Smith's first movie. It's all in black and white. When you watch it,
it's like a cult classic among nerds.
Yeah. So when you're a teenager and you watch that movie, you think it's really funny because they talk about sex a lot and they
smoke weed
yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, this would be great for Artie to take his kids to and introduce them to that kind of stuff.
Christ.
Wow, Artie, they have a plan for you.
Forget about it.
That's Clerks at the Coral Gables Art Cinema on Saturday, May 11th. On Sunday, May 12th, you got the Black Market it's a flea market type of thing at Las Rosas. That's after Mother's Day. I don't really have any Mother's Day suggestions. Do you guys?
There's like a whole bunch of brunches going on, you know?
Biltmore is always a very classy
Biltmore.
brunch.
Yeah, it is, and a good one too.
Yeah.
My old lady's screwed because our big boy's got he's a competitive soccer player, and there's
A game right in the middle.
Oh man,
Finals,
Good.
man.
Traveling.
finals.
Wow. Hey, but
The
that's
finals
fun.
are on Mother's Day, yeah, which is good because then I don't have to do anything. And
He's
I got-
like, those are the plans.
And I got an excuse. My mom's in New York. I give her a call, and I'm golden.
Lucky guy.
That's a good way to think about it. Well, after, if you want to go to a little flea market thing where a bunch of vendors sell stuff, they're going to be doing that at Las Rosas at night that's on Sunday, May 12th. And also on Sunday, May 12th, the Dade Heritage Trust does a bike ride to Young Arts. So Dade Heritage Trust is in Brickell, and they do a toured bike ride to the Young Arts building, which is the old Bacardi building on Biscayne.
Those
That-
Bacardi buildings are beautiful.
That starts at 10
Yeah.
a.m. If you want to do, if you want to take your mom on a cheap date, that's
But that's
what you can
fun.
do. It's a guided
Wake
tour,
up on
so
a
you-
Sunday morning and get on a bike from Brickell to downtown. Yeah,
I do that actually. Sometimes I do that. I love it actually.
You must not drink.
No, I don't. You're right. Yeah, I don't drink. But it's fun. You get to experience. I've been into the city bike situation a lot, and I love
You've been
it.
part of that critical mass.
Hell no.
Those guys have screwed me up so many times, man.
Not even close. But I love renting the bike and not getting in my car. It's fascinating, I love it. It's like, let's get that not public transportation. Let's get mobility.
Aren't those city bikes really heavy? Wouldn't it be better to have your
Yeah,
own
they're
bike?
super heavy, man.
I like them. They're like, that's the only thing. I'm not going to get
They're
a bike,
popular. Yeah, they're popular.
You just pop in a credit card, $4 for the half an hour. Gets you somewhere. You park it. And you're ready to go.
And you leave it, and you can just go
And
about
that's
your
it.
day.
Yeah.
No, those things are making their way all the way out down by us. I see them in South
Oh, yeah?
Miami creeping their way out to Kendall.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yellow bikes and green bikes.
Yeah.
It's not those gray city bikes with the super heavy things.
The Lime bikes, you're talking about the green ones,
Lime,
right?
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are-
I haven't seen those.
Oh, you haven't
Really?
seen?
No.
Those are kind of nice because they
They're
don't
lighter.
have racks. You can just leave them wherever you want.
Yes.
Wait, are these the scooters you're talking about?
They
No,
also
no,
have
they're-
scooters.
they're bikes.
The scooters scare the living crap out of me.
Yeah.
But the bike,
No, the bikes, the scooters is that bird thing, right?
Well,
there's
Lime
Bird,
also-
Lyft, Uber,
Yeah.
Bolt.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like a whole bunch
ridiculous,
of
yeah.
companies.
Yeah, people like the scooters apparently.
Man, I can't.
Oh, did you hear that there's, I don't want to completely tange here, but...
Really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
He's being conscious about it, okay?
There's going to be a competitor to Uber, and they realized everybody's got a cell phone, and most people have cars, so they don't need to go through the third party of Uber anymore. They're going to just hook up directly the ride wanter, the guy who needs the ride, and the guy who's got the car with his cell phone. And they don't go through anymore, and so the driver will get more money.
So, but what does the company make? Isn't this the same
No,
as
it's
Uber?
an app.
But what is it?
Yeah, I read the first preliminary things of it. It's going to be a huge blow to the Uber model that's basically going to connect directly the rider to the driver. What does the app make? That I haven't figured out.
Gotcha.
That I haven't read. I haven't
Yeah,
figured
how
out.
would they make their money,
Then
right?
maybe they'll have advertising or something like
How?
that.
No.
I don't know. Right. Well, what?
Well, I can guarantee you that was definitely a tangent. It went way out there.
Whoa.
We're talking about
Whoa.
the new business
We're
of
like,
Uber.
What? What's
But
going
wait,
on?
I have something here written
Uh-huh.
down that I need you to explain to me because you told me before the show, and I want to hear it. Next week, Tantra Games.
Ooh, yeah. You have to be a member in order to come and participate.
I still want to hear what
But-
it is.
It is about connecting
I
to.
thought Tantra was about not coming.
No, that's it.
It's about connection.
Well, you said you had to be a member to come, and I'm thinking.
You're an idiot.
You are another. I mean, it took me a minute to get it. It took me a minute. I'm a little slower.
So anyway, Tantra Con.
It's about you're supposed to come with somebody that you want to connect with, and you go and connect with that person on a deeper level, and
You're supposed to connect
you
with
don't
somebody you want to.
and you we don't have the option to take the clothes off, but it gets you into that mode of like really connecting deeper and feeling something deeper than what we usually.
Where is the event?
It's at the Plymouth Hotel. It's at 7 p.m. You do have to become a member. So just, shoot us an email. If you did, however, listen to the show.
Is this a Raw event?
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a Raw event. If you did listen to the show and you are listening right now, we will guarantee you a free entry just because you are listening to the show.
So what do they got
I
to
like
mention?
it.
They got to mention
you
the
go.
word.
They got to mention nothing's
Going on.
going
Miami.
on
Yeah.
in Miami.
Raw.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. You
I
can
won't
take the
go.
old lady.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There we
next
go.
week.
This is something you can Mother's Day.
Mother's
and
Day.
Mother's Day.
Hey, boys.
Hey.
Go home.
Well, it's not on Mother's Day. You give her the gift of the thing. But you're
Exactly.
not allowed to mention that nothing's going on. That's not for you. You have to pay.
No.
No. I just heard.
Artie, we'll let
Listen,
Artie in.
I'm
We'll
gonna-
let Artie in.
I'm gonna give a
He's
lecture
interested-
there.
Exactly. He's interested in the Tantra experience.
This
Come on.
guy will talk the whole time. Man.
We'll make him. We'll make him.
That's what my old lady complains about.
Just,
He'll connect on a level with everybody. Just yapping. All right. That's basically all I have, unless you guys have anything else. You guys want to rant on anything else? You guys want
Sugar,
to...
man. I wanted to rant on some stuff, man.
Yeah, but please, no, not new Uber business plans. Maybe something that has to do with Miami or this town that we live in that we can kind of relate to.
I was gonna bitch about some traffic on the way here,
But there's no
but
traffic
it's getting
anymore.
better.
Yeah.
No, it's getting much better.
listen,
really
I don't think it's
surprised.
wrong that I did 90 the whole way here on the sidewalk. It's
No, I
in a
think
school zone.
you're getting
Alright.
places.
Yeah, hey, man. No, I used to not be such a bad driver, but Miami kind of forced my hand, you know.
Is
It's
that?
a- it's
Are
just
you
like getting-
blaming it on Miami?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for real. I when I got my license, we're in official rant and tangent mode here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, for
Excellent.
sure.
I love this part of the show. One time we were driving somewhere, and I work with a crew of guys, and we got a work truck, and I'm always driving it. One of the boys was like, "God damn, Benny, you turned into Artie. You turned into such a crappy driver." And one of the guys was like, "Yeah, and you didn't used to always be that way." And I realized, I was like, "But listen, man, did you get anything done?" "Oh, so on my way up here tonight, I wanted to stop and get a few beers for the show." And I stopped off in Kendall off Bird Road, and they locked the doors because the shift was changing over the
person was
the
shifting.
cajera, the money in the cash register. And so I'm standing out next to a guy, and we're both locked out. And I look at him, and I was like, "God damn." He's like, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Hey, man, have you ever tried to get anything done on time in this town?" And the guy, we had like one of those Colada Miami
Yeah.
moments. It's called bringing it back around here. And he's like, "You're totally right, man." He's like, "I can't get anything done in this town on time."
Well, you get used to it, like we said, and just
Yeah.
like the driving too, it affects you.
It affected me. I'm a much worse driver now.
Yeah.
I drive in the emergency lane. I cut people off. I run yellows, you know.
But that's why you gotta get the city bike.
I like that.
You know?
Nah,
guys-
We're gonna get him on the city bike or the line bike, whatever it is.
You've gone straight from just being a regular Miami driver, doesn't use a turn signal, whatever. Now you're driving in the emergency lanes.
I've gone from being just a marginal threat now to a public nuisance, you know.
That's good. Okay, well that's all I got.
Nah, I don't got any more. I'm out. I'm spent.
Well, thank you for having me. I
Oh, thank you
appreciate
so
guys.
much for coming.
Yes.
That was fun.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you that she was like number
I was
one
gonna have
first fan. First of all, always when I would
Wait, I
post
thought
the
you said
shows.
we're going to have a cool chick on tonight.
Oh, you! Where's this thing do? How do I press this?
There's a button on the back.
And that's for you, Artie.
Bien hecho.
So she was one of the first supporters of the show. Whenever she saw that we were posting stuff and whatever, always reached out. This is awesome. I want to be on
I
it. but
love
do
it.
this,
I
wanna
think
do
it's
this.
fascinating.
But she's always really busy, so it never kind of worked out. Blah, blah, blah. Finally got her on the show. I hope it's the first of many times.
Woohoo, for sure.
And yeah, so thank you so much for coming.
But today, I must say, I don't know. Like, you texted me at the right time and the right moment because I was in this work. Then I went into this workshop that I was taking my cousin in, and I'm totally ranting right now. And he texted me 15
It's that
minutes.
part of the show.
Okay, good. He texted me like, "Hey, there's parking in the back." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And luckily, I was 15 minutes away, and it was. I did text you. I am 4 minutes away when I hit the 45, though, to like
She
take
did
it back.
the courtesy text. She
I
gave me the
did.
courtesy text that she was.
Yeah.
Dale, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on that.
I think we can turn Miami around, honestly.
Hey, one event at a time.
Have you guys done this?
Must.
Where you're blocking an intersection, and or when you're coming up to an intersection when the traffic's full, and you back off, even though you got the green light, you got to do it, and because you allow people who are in the turn lane to like move through. It's a new Miami thing.
So
I've been trying to push for like years, man, and I wave at the people like, "Hey, yeah, come on." People are looking at me like, "What does this guy want?"
I love that.
Yes, you got to do it,
Okay.
and because it trains people to do it in traffic.
So what's funny is that I've noticed more and more that people are doing that. Are things really changing around
That's
here?
me.
So you have a green, but you see that there's traffic right in front of you after the intersection. So you stop it. You're
stopped.
Yeah, you don't block the intersection because you
Exactly.
know it could turn red in the middle and you'd be stuck in the middle.
Ugh, that has happened.
It might be a selfish thing, though, too. People aren't doing it out of courtesy. They're doing it out of not being the idiot stuck in the middle of the intersection.
Well,
No, I'm
whatever
talking-
the reason they're doing it, it's the right reason. It's the
I'm
right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm also talking more like the red light is a block ahead of you, but there's an entrance and a salida from like a mall or one of these strip malls right where you are. And if you pull up and you block them, they can't get in or out.
Oh, gotcha.
So you're far enough back in the line that rather than park on the guy's ass in front of you, you leave a car space in front of you where the salida is.
Yeah.
And then the vieja is like, "Oh, can I get?" Yeah, go ahead, baby.
Yeah, go for it.
And in the mornings, it's the school stuff. It's like the school moms and the minivans, and they want to pull out.
on.
And chances are they're actually going to be going west. They're not going to be going in the same direction as you.
Yeah.
And you let the traffic flow. And I feel like I'm doing something for my city, and I feel like I'm
Yeah,
letting a little
come
bit of flow
on.
going through.
You're doing God's
Yeah.
work out there for the viejas.
Yes, yes, thank you.
I
Yes.
must say that going back to changing Miami, I am going to be changing it by shaking it one moment at a time. I think everybody needs to like shake things off. You know, I'm a
Totally,
big
man.
like dancing.
Start the event 5 minutes earlier, like every other month. or
Okay,
something.
I'm gonna start. You know, yeah. But in movement, actually, you know what I mean? Like when I see somebody and I'm like, hey, and then I'm like, I give them a little like shake, you know, it changes their day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really
man.
does.
There's little
know?
stuff that we can do Miami style.
Yeah,
But getting
but
back,
Miami
bringing it back
style.
around, but bringing it back. There's a magic to this city that I've learned to hate, and then fallen back in love, and
definitely
realized, for me it was, I realized my kids are born here. They're gonna be raised here. There's nothing I can do, and
This
I
is
can
it.
either hate it or I can learn to love it. And I've told this story before. A buddy of mine from the Midwest, a transplant here, hated Miami. These fucking people, this and this and that. I never curse on this show. He said he was visiting somewhere in the Midwest, and he got on an elevator, and he was like, "Oh yeah." Somebody said, "Oh, you should talk to him. He's from Miami."
Okay, wait. I'm stopping you right here. This means we are totally have jumped to the shark on the show because you're telling the same story
I love
that
this
you
story.
told 30 minutes ago.
Earlier today.
No, the one about the elevator.
Yes, you told the elevator story
Did I?
already.
Yeah,
Yes.
you did.
And I think
But
you
we
told
loved it. We really
I
did.
think you told it on a previous show too. So
Damn it. You guys have busted
you're,
me.
You're out of it.
No, but you know what? But it's good. We need to say hi to people in the elevator.
You
Smile
want to take
people.
that spot over there?
No, I think it's something we need to do as a collective. You know, it's like, come on, smile. Sometimes you're having a bad day. You just want somebody to smile to
Yeah,
you,
man.
you know?
No, that wasn't the story.
Well,
It was another one, but that's all right, guys.
there was something with the Midwest that he was like,
It was Midwest. Don't worry about it, guys.
and go to the beach. It should be a standard. Everybody,
Yes.
once a week.
If you take anything,
I
minimum.
like that. I
That
like
should be a
that.
standard.
Mandatory beach time.
That 100%. What other thing can we do mandatory that it will
Candle time.
Kendall
Okay,
time?
maybe not.
And
Maybe not. I will. Yep. No. I will.
Is there anything
no.
new out there that we should know
in
about?
Kendall,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
nothing. It's the same old Kendall. We call it the K-hole.
Okay. Well, we won't be going to the K-hole, but thank you. We love that you're visiting us here in Miami. And what other thing we could say that is mandatory? Smile to people. Come on. And-
Wear your sunscreen.
Let him in traffic.
No, actually, do not. There's a study that it gets
don't
into
you
your
know they're against the-
bloodstream, and it's like not good. So make sure that you do get things, sunscreens that don't have chemicals. This is a new thing that I'm listening to it. I don't know if I'm like pro it because I still wear that sunblock that has all the chemicals, but it's not good for the ocean.
Oh yeah.
It's-
Let's not get too into this because we're not gonna
Ever
give
gonna
the perfect advice.
Yeah, it's
Killing
true.
the coral reefs.
Just
and
look
Key
at-
West, they're banning it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, just look into what sunscreen you're putting on,
yeah.
but make sure you do put some.
Sunscreen on
Yeah.
and take a towel because it's gonna help you out. You don't want to
Stay away from those tangents.
There you go. All right, that's the show. I'm going to call it right there. Thank you for listening. Nothing's going on. Episode 9. Subscribe on Instagram and on the iTunes podcast and all that stuff. I want to thank Jolt for hosting us. Always super grateful for that. Great setup we got here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I want to thank Cristina for coming. I want to thank Artie for coming.
Artie.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.
Good night, Miami.